Good afternoon, everyone. And our group is LAN, and all other members are from Sri Lanka. Today, we are going to present about analyze the contribution of technology to economic growth in the major Asian economies. How have Asian economies updated their technological capacity? This is the topic number one we choose today for our presentation. So we chose Asia to present our presentation, and we divided into three parts: South Asia, Southeast Asia, and East Asia. So from these three regions, we took the leading economies such as India, Malaysia, and Japan. So through those three countries, we understand how technology is contributed to the economy, and through those examples, we are giving a recommendation to the other countries in the specific region.
Technology is wide, and everyone has their own way of understanding what technology is. So today as a group, we have decided to take the following definition. It is the study, design, development, and implementation and management of computer-based information systems. Technology is ever-changing, and one of the major roles it has in society is that it has the power to influence a country's growth while also managing information systems and spans a wide variety of areas. Technology brings the world together. Advances in IT, along with increasing global competition, are adding complexity and uncertainty of several orders of magnitude to organizational environment. We'll be focusing on India in the South Asian region because India is supposedly known as the Silicon Valley in terms of technology. India is the world's sixth fastest growing economy at 8.43% GDP growth. And India, the second largest growing economy, will overtake China in the next 5 years, it is predicted. Well, during the period 2010 to 2011, the annual growth rate of Indian IT services industry has been over 35%.
So from the research we did, we understood that the Indian government is taking a lot of measures to improve the technology of the country. For example, as recent as the year 2014, they entered into a joint research agreement with Russia in order to fund research and development and thereby improve the technology of the country. For example, if you look at year 2012, technology has contributed to 7.5% of the economic growth, whereas in year 1998, it was only 1.2%. Also, because of this open mind of the Indian government towards technology, the country has also been able to attract a lot of foreign direct investments because improved technology attracts companies from other countries, and thereby it has helped to further improve the technology of the country and thereby further increase the economic development of India. Therefore, what we understood was that technology has contributed in several ways to the development of the Indian economy. It has resulted in increased employment, and as I mentioned earlier also, it has resulted in major growth of the economy. And India also has been recognized internationally because of the availability of technology. What we would like to suggest for countries of the other region is that to follow the footsteps of India and identify how important technology is. What we understood is that capital is a major problem faced by these countries of South Asia. So what we suggest is that you can either enter into joint agreements with other countries who are willing to fund you for research and development, and also you can borrow money from other institutions who are willing to provide you with loans and invest greatly in research and development and thereby improve your technology and achieve high levels of economic growth. Yeah.
So the second region is Southeast Asia. So we are going to explain how the technology is contributed to the Southeast Asian economy. So in here, the main leading countries are mentioned: Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia. So in Southeast Asia, about 10% of shares had declined in agriculture sector by 1999, because the reason is technology is increased in the Southeast Asian countries. So these are the major exports in the Southeast Asia, such as Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, and Thailand, Vietnam. And in this one, we are going to take Malaysia as an example to give the recommendation to other countries. So Malaysia, the main export is machinery and electronics. So now I'm going to explain how the technological situation is going on in Malaysia. The first thing is technology is a top performing sector, and the technology sector grew by double digits percentage wise in the beginning of 2012. And we can see economy got several kind of advantages by the technology development in Malaysia. The first thing is low labor cost and industrial technology development and research and development and innovation. So to have this kind of situation in Malaysia, there is some reasons. There is two main bodies working for the technology development in Malaysia. So you can see in this chart, we mentioned MOSTI and the NCSRD. Those are the two bodies that help for the technology development in Malaysia. So MOSTI, they are providing and they are formulating the policies in the area of science and technology, and plus, and the NCSRD, they provide advisors to improve the science and technology in Malaysia. So we can see FDI in Malaysia. The first thing is 50% accumulative online government services that they are providing, and focuses on SME, promoting the commercialization of science and technology and innovation. And they are providing a special program for foreign direct investors, the Economic Transformation Program, ETP, that's electrical and electronical and communications and the infrastructure sectors. So the second part is industrialization. So you can see in here 40% of the export from technology sector. In the technology sector, when we see in Malaysia, I already explained that machinery and the electronics are the main components of the export items in Malaysia. So they have a 40% of export from the technological sector. And those, through the technology, industrialization make a lot of jobs in Malaysia, and it's decreased the unemployment rate in Malaysia. And after that, they provided a goal by 2020 in Malaysia. The theme is by 2020, connecting one Malaysia. This is the theme that to motivate the industrialization to the technology. So you can see those some examples here. And we have some recommendation in other countries in the specific region, especially in Southeast Asia. So you can see they can do for the other countries, such as Cambodia and Laos and those countries. So we can see here they can get the help from the other leading countries in the region, and loans from the Asian Bank and World Bank. We can see that the Asian Bank in Manila, it's in Philippines, so they can get the helps easily from the Asian Bank and contact the NGOs, and they can enter the ASEAN too. So these are the recommendations for the developing countries in Southeast Asia.
I'm going to talk about how technology has contributed to the East Asia economy. First of all, I would like to give a small explanation, a small introduction about East Asia. East Asia is one of the core area of the world economy and emerging center of political power. Because in East Asia, 1.5 billion people are living, which is 40% of Asia's population and 20% of world's population. East Asian countries are China, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Mongolia, and Hong Kong. And the major export product of this country is electronic equipment. In Japan, they are exporting 15% of electronic equipment in their total export product. And South Korea exporting 25%, and Taiwan 37%, and China 26%. Next, my colleague will explain about the current situation in Japan economy.
I'm going to talk about the current technological situation in Japan. Japan holds a very large market share in high technology, such industries like automobile and machinery and electronics. Industries are largest industries in Japan. Spends the biggest budget for research in this field that accounts for $130 billion The government spending most of its budget for the research, and Japan possesses the most of the robots. Like more than 50% robots are made by Japan. And regarding information and communication technology, like export of ICT goods, like 75,515 million US dollars in 2011, which were related to occupation in business sector is 4.7. And most of the Japanese household, with like 57% of them are like access to internet, which shows that there's a reasonable increase in technology in Japan. So contribution of technology to the industrialization is, Japan achieved industrialization in 1880s to 1970. So these are like, there are some features which led Japan to be industrialization. It's like investment-led growth. The Japan is mostly focused on investment rather than the export. And second one is total factor productivity growth. It's like achieving more output per unit of input was rapid in Japan. It's not only the household level, it's also the firm level and the government level also. The government, like industrial policy that reduce the cost to the private firm and securing the business from the like cost savings. Again, my colleague will explain the foreign direct investment of Japan.
Foreign direct investment is one of the major economic aspect in the Japan economy. As we can see, until the late 1960s, Japanese FDI was concentrated mainly in the natural resources sector in commerce. And in the late 1960s, Japanese FDI started to increase rapidly with the concentration in Asian newly industrializing economies and in manufacturing activities such as electronic products. FDI in Japan raised 2.3 billion in 2013, which is 33% increasement from the previous years. The main reason of the increasement is government policies and technology improvement.
So today, from today's presentation, I think you got the idea how the technology contributed to the Asian economy. So we come up with three conclusions. So the first thing is, technologically, Asia is one of the fastest growing regions in the world. And the second thing is, Asian countries are no longer just a place to get a cheap labor or programming skills. So we can see in Asia, the population is really high, so we have a very big labor force. So to improve the technology and the programming skills, we have a very big labor force. So that is the main reason, the cheap labor or programming skills to develop the technology in the Asian countries.
Alright, Asian countries also, they have demonstrated to the world that they have the knowledge, skills and abilities to develop advanced technologies, which in turn will attract FDI and strengthen their position towards the world. These are our references.
These are our references for today's presentation. Thank you for listening. ご清聴ありがとうございました。